So we can't speak to someone just like that, isn't it? All right. Myself, I'm Rajesh here. As you all know, you know the purpose to be in this class. We are all here to learn something which we have already learned. To learn something to in order to increase the learning of something else. So in that case, now I'm helping you with speed reading. Yes, I'm a memory coach also, and NLP practitioner, and certified life coach. All right, so this is all the introduction. So probably as of now, you all may be knowing the purpose of this class, isn't it? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, introducing myself, Umar Rajesh, speed reading coach. Now, we know why we are here. But then, first of all, we have to understand exactly what is this speed reading? Do we really require? See, you guys already know to read, know to write, everything is fine. But still, why do we want to go for something called speed reading? My dear kids, this era is like a terrain of information. It's a plethora of knowledge around us. Let's say you are watching something on FB, you're reading an article in a laptop, or you're reading some jokes in WhatsApp and you're understanding and you're laughing at the jokes. You're getting into LinkedIn or Twitter and so on. How is that a new information presented to you all? It is just nothing through, you know, some printing of the words, right? So it is just not at one place. In many of the places we go, we are getting a lot of information. If FB says one thing, then LinkedIn says something else, some other book says something else, a research paper is there, a news article is there, which is giving you, loads and loads of data for us. So here it's so happening. We all have lot of resources, but is there somebody who can tell me that I have more than 24 hours? Universally, it is not. Everyone has only 24 hours of time. So within this 24 hours of time, yes, we have to catch. Yes, we need to run faster. Why? Again, it's nothing but again the knowledge that we need to exhibit. If we understand, if we see around, if you see the creativity around, if you see people around, they are getting measured by knowledge, isn't it? Let me just give one example. Maybe you'll understand it very much better. Let's take a sum of a mathematics problem of, let's say, for some 8th standard or 9th standard. Let's say you didn't get the understanding of it from your teacher. Now, with the available internet facility, what do? We just go, we just browse, we get it from the internet. There are lots of videos on the internet, there are lots of materials, there are lot many different books dealing about that subject. Yes or no? If you all agree, I want you all to type yes in the comment box. Yeah? So, what is happening? Now, let's compare this with our earlier method or earlier situations. When we want to get some knowledge, always there was one person ahead of us, on top of us, maybe a teacher, a guru, or a tutor, or somebody. So, for everything, we had to go. We had to be in the same track. But now it is not so. Let's say I don't get some information, I search it in many other places. With the click of a phone, we can get lots and lots of information. So that barrier box, meaning you have to go to this person, you have to go to this person, is cut off now. So what's happened is knowledge is just not confined within one box. It is not closed. It's not concealed with one person or with one brain, or there are now, I can say, lot of opportunities to increase our wings. Right? Now, I said we are all getting measured by the knowledge we possess. Meaning to say, now let's look back. Earlier, when we are supposed to pass our 10th standard or our 12th standard, maybe like the 15 years of age or 17 years of age was a border for us. But now it is not so. There are students, there are children in at their age of 10 years completed their 10th standard. At the age of 16 years, they are doing their PhDs. Age is no more a bar for them. Correct? Age is no more a bar. All required is the process of the knowledge and opening up your own wings with your own creativity. But then, when we can have all these facilities, like you can show up your skills, you can talk to anyone in the world, right? You can learn anything on your own. You can start earning at the very young age. When we have such opportunities in front of us, what's more required? Is it the hard work or is it the smart work? Using the brain or using the books? Earlier was an age where teacher used to teach us, we used to take the notes accordingly what the teacher used to write and tell us, and we were going according. Is it the same way now? No way. We can just go for keywords. We can just go for, in fact, recording also. We can read it. We can just take the screenshots. There are a lot many opportunities waiting for us. Yes. Now just think about, do you want, are we in the era of hard work? Are we in the era of smart work? Just go ahead and type whether we are in the era of smart work or hard work. And if it is smart work, what is mostly used? Is it not our brain? Just type in with your comments. Yes, it is our brain which is getting used when we talk about the smart work. Let me give an answer. Give an example here. Suppose if you don't have the notes of maths class, what we used to do earlier, we used to go to our friend's house, or they used to come back or come along with the maths notes, and we used to write. And there was like traveling, that, this, and all used to happen. Now, do we have like that? No, it is as simple as taking a photo or clicking a photo and pass it over WhatsApp. Right? Share the textbook. You can do lot many things. Yes, this is what is called a smartphone because of the available facilities. Now we are all aligning to something called brain. How do we use this facilities? Yes, in one of that, speed reading, another one, memory, another one, mind maps. They're the most important in order to learn anything new, faster, 100% efficiency, 100% remembering and recalling and presenting capacity with your own creativity. Let me just explain one after the other. Correct? Now, when it comes to the matter of memory techniques, it is that we are speaking about the memory, meaning once we read, it should be there in our mind ever long, and it should be presented back to anyone who is asking at the situation where it is required. When I come to the matter of speed reading, yes, everybody does. Then reading with speed. Is it only reading with speed is sufficient? Because we all know ABCD. After all, reading is nothing but just, combining some words of ABCD in a very meaningful format and making a sentence is just reading and go ahead. Is only sufficient? No way. We have a different method totally for it. Now, when it comes to the matter of memory, you are all reading. Is it sufficient? If that is the case, if you said, yes, this is sufficient, how comfortable are we in just reading and recalling? Even if I ask you a month after, if I ask you some 2 months after, for example, we go for tables. How many of us are comfortable if you just understand one table and able to recall it again? Not possible, right? Squares of the numbers, cube root of the numbers. Next comes the matter of mind mapping. Yes, your teachers are giving you the notes, and we are all like, we are taking the notes and we are going according. Is there any other way of representing? Is it the same way that we have represented to our brain? No. What we have in the textbooks is totally different than what is there in our brain. So, and then we have something called photographic memory. Let me add that also to you guys. This is a fourth smart working technique. Photographic memory. If you see something, everything should be printed back. Right? Now, do you think, yes, these skills are required for us to develop? What do you guys say?
Yes, it is needed.
Yes, my dear kids. Yes, these are all which are required for our development. Now, let me go ahead and share my screen here. Let us see what is that we are really talking about. What's it which is required for us? What is a problem in reading? How do we overcome? And everything. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Can you please make me as a host? Okay. How are we taught to read? First of all, let's go back to our KG1, KG2 classes, our pre-nursery classes, and let's see how were we taught to read. What was it first? They showed us method of ABCD. They made us to learn ABCD. Done. Later on, A was not pronounced as A. Then we came to something called phonics, where A was pronounced as B, K, D, something like that. Phonics method. We call this as phonics method. And once the student is familiar, once the child is familiar in understanding the alphabets, recognizing it back, then the teacher took us to something called look and say, or reading letter by letter. Cat was pronounced as K-A-T. Correct? Yes. And then they showed us the pictures. Look, this is cow. C-O-W. Cow. Then they said, this is elephant. And so on. They moved on, where they got to know, yes, we are comfortably able to recognize the words. If other words are given, like any other words, rabbit, maths, science, when this was done, what they did, yes, you guys are much more comfortable. Let me go ahead with the knowledge sharing now. Then they stopped us where at that level, and then they took us to grammar, they took us to social, science, maths, and so on. My dear friends, now let's just put back one question. If at all, a child starts to crawl, starts to stand on its own, and starts to put the steps ahead, is it sufficient to be a runner? To be a dancer? Is that sufficient to be a runner? Is that sufficient to be a dancer? Let's think. Everybody knows walking, but there's a lot of difference between walking and running. Everybody knows walking, but there are special skills required for dancing. Yes or no? Yeah. Unfortunately, though we are sailing in this terrain world of knowledge, everywhere we are asked to read, everywhere we are asked to write, but then we were stopped at the place of recognizing the words, and it was left on us. Or rather, there was no importance given on some smart skills like memory or like speed reading or mind mapping and stuff like that. But do you know how much time we are wasting without having this very basic knowledge? It's hell lot of time. If I say for one book, minimum we are wasting 20 hours unwantedly. 20 hours is just 2 days. And with lack of interest. And with comprehension, understanding lesser than 50%. Not with the quality. We are just reading as anyone are reading. Yes? Now, after saying about this, now let's move on for the next level. Okay. You know what? There's a very bad misconception among most of us that reading is just reading of the words. Reading is just pronouncing back the words. Is that is so? That anyone can do. A person who is knowing the alphabets, Aksharamala, anyone can do. Is reading is only that much? Then who will take care of the part of understanding? Who will take care of the part of integrating or putting this inside the mind where we already know something? If fractions are then there, how do we integrate fractions along with the addition, subtraction, division? That's also comes with the connectivity. Then who will remember? Who will recall? And how do we communicate back? Are these not part of our reading skills? But unfortunately, they've all got divided. Reading is made separate, memory is made separate, and then putting back is made separate. Communication is totally and altogether separate way. But a very new definition of reading is having 7 steps in it. How many? 7 steps in it. What are they? First thing, recognizing the letters. Correct? If it is cat, it's recognized as CAT. Yes, cat, cow, dog, we all know. What if it is something like albecuquer? Again, we are going to read the letters and we'll assimilate it. Am I correct? Sizokoslovia. How do we
Yes.
read? How do we read? Again, by reading the spellings, then assimilate it with what we already know. Am I right? Next, that's called recognizing. Then we have something called assimilation. What do I mean? Assimilation is nothing but making that meaningful group. Czechoslovakia. In that, Slovia is something probably which we have seen in the other words also. Assimilating the different parts and put it in a group and reading. Similarly, if it is one word, then what do we do for the other words? Making a group and reading ahead. That is called assimilation. Then we have something called internal integration where, see, already you know something. As I gave you an example of fractions. Already, even not fractions. Let's go for multiplication. Multiplication was the next step of addition. Agree with me, all of you? Yes. Multiplication is just nothing but the next step of addition. Correct? So, in order to understand about multiplication, there should be a concept of addition already stored in our mind. This is called internal integration. Yes? So, if we talk about the different types of the nouns, we should be knowing what is a noun. This is internal integration. Next, we go for something called external integration. What do I mean? Assimilating are taking this knowledge, what that we are reading, and connecting it with the other knowledge. That is nothing but external integration. Got it? Next we have, after this, retention. What do I mean by retention? Keeping that in our mind. It's just not reading the words and just moving on. No, that doesn't happen. Putting that in our mind. Once it is retained, then we have to check back with its recalling capacity. How quickly can we recall? Even that's also a part in reading. Fine? Recalling, when you are recalling within your mind, okay, but then what do we do if you want to communicate to the outside world? If you want to tell back to the outside world, yes, this is what I understood, this is what is the concept all about, this is what is there in grammar, what are nouns, what are pronouns, like that. That is called as representing it to the outside world, to the inside world. Communication. So this is a 7-step process in all. Let's go back and think once more. What was that? The first was recognizing the words, assimilating. The second one, What was the second one then? After we start, sorry, the first one was recognizing. Next, assimilating, understanding. Then internal integration, integrating it with something which we already know. External integration. We are integrating this knowledge with the new knowledge that which will come to us. Let's say if it is a weather report, we know how the weather climate is here. Let's say in Bangalore today, the weather is like very cold, chilling climate. How do I integrate it with what's happening around? Maybe this is because of humidity. Maybe the floods around, like this. Internal done, external done. Then how do I retain it in my brain? Once the retention is done, how do we recall them? Next, communicating it with the external world. So this is a complete process of reading. This is where our speed reading helps us a lot. Yes? Okay, then let's move ahead. I know, see if you can share my screen. All right. Okay, then there is some part called what are the problems in normal reading itself. Forget about speed reading here. What are some problems that we see when we are reading? Can we just go ahead and see that in the comment box? What are the problems that you guys are facing? Just go ahead and think. Is it that not interested? Is it that laziness? Or is it some eye vision problem? Some memory issue? Or maybe not being comfortable in reading? What could be that? Or problem with the vocabulary? Problem in understanding? Just put it in your comments box. What are those issues that we are facing in our normal reading? There are lots and lots of issues. Probably I would have picked out some 9 or 10 and I would have just told you. Isn't it? Okay. Is it that this is confined to the students, the early birds like only you? No way. It is to the elders also. Is it that when you guys are thinking of speed reading, I want to improve my speed, that's why I'm here to this class. Do you think the elders already possess the speed reading capabilities? They're reading much more faster than us? No way. Their reading is still slower than our reading. Got it? Got it? Let me give you a very good example. Let me give you a very good example here. Let's say you guys are going for yoga or gym or something like that. If you leave it for 1 month, do you have the same flexibility? If you leave for a year, forget about the flexibility. We don't even remember the steps.
Yes.
We don't even remember the name of the asanas in yoga. We don't even know the counts in Arabics, isn't it? This becomes a problem even with elders, and most of the elders are also still the slow readers. So you don't need to underestimate yourselves. You're still in a much faster reading space, right? Now, after we got to know, we revealed what are the problems in our reading. What are those areas which needs to be addressed? Let's move ahead and see the important part. I'll tell this as a very important part. I'll put a small question to you all. Is it your eyes are reading or is it your brain is reading? Eyes are brain. Eyes, brain. Yes. Okay, fine. We'll do one thing. If you just need to, if you're seeing a papaya, do you really read its spelling? Papaya? No. Banana? Nothing. About your city, the address of your home, your house name? Nothing. Why? It's because it's already stored in the brain. So what's happening? But again, when you're seeing the spelling of papaya, it is just coming in a flash of a millisecond. It means that the eyes did the contact to your brain through the nerves. Correct? So did a contact to the brain and the brain gave back that information. Got it? So if I give you different varieties of papaya, you're still able to tell that yes, this is papaya only. Who is telling that? It's your brain, because it has already read that, it has integrated, it has assimilated, it has retained that, it is able to recall it now. Yes? So, can we all tell that it's our brain which is reading, not our eyes? Yes. Let's move ahead. Okay, there's one important factor for speed reading. How do we measure the speed of a vehicle? How do we measure? Let's take, for example, in our car. Okay, in our car usually has an average speed of 100 kilometers. If I say, I'm just giving you an example of 100 kilometers per hour. How do we measure it? It is, what are we doing? The distance it is traveling in 1 hour is what we call it the speed, or the distance traveled divided by the time is called the speed. Correct? Of that vehicle. Then if that's the case, how do we measure the speed of your reading? Which is nothing but the number of the words you are reading for that given time. Let's say if I give you 1 minute, you are reading those many number of words according to your speed. That is nothing but speed. That is nothing but the number of words per minute, WPM. Let's say if I'm giving you 2 minutes. What are you doing? We are calculating, we are counting all the number of words we have read for 2 minutes. But we want the calculation for 1 minute. Then divide it by 2. Got it? Any doubts so far? Is there any doubt?
No, ma'am.
All right.
No, ma'am. One doubt. Are you sharing your screen?
No, I'm not able to share because the screen sharing is disabled for the participant. I'm not made as a host. That's the reason. All right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. All right. Yes, we talked about something called WPM. Now, a very small work for all of you is start reading with your very normal speed, as however you are reading, and do it only for 1 minute. Then after you finish your reading, count the number of the words that you have read for that 1 minute. That will be your WPM. And then repeat the same exercise for another 1 minute. Repeat it for another 1 minute. Take the addition of your first trial, the second trial, and the third trial. Got it? Add everything together, divide it by 3. That will give you an average WPM. Yes? Now, sometimes we go faster, sometimes we go slower. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, it is very simple.
Do we have to do it now?
I couldn't understand, ma'am. Can you say it again?
I'm coming back. Not now. Not now. Once after you finish this class, probably we can. You can go ahead for this exercise. Or in case if you have time, right? Let me show how to do that. Got it? Listen.
Yes, ma'am.
WPM is equal to the number of words read for 1 minute. How do we count those number of words? It is nothing but from where you started till where you ended in that 1 minute span. Count all the words. That is nothing but WPM. Words per minute. Got it? You can just simply do this and that is done. WPM, you will get it. Now you got? Any doubts? All right. Let me move ahead. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
All right.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then this becomes your current speed reading rate. Yes? Okay. since we are talking a lot about speed reading like that, then it should be assured, or I will guarantee you that you will be increasing your speed 3 times more than what the speed that you are already possessing. Let us say, for example, for 1 minute, if you are reading 100 words, by the time we finish our speed reading class, maybe in this session or maybe in another session, we will be assured that we will be increasing our speed reading capacity by 3 times. It means 300 words per minute. Got my point? Yeah? If there are 40, okay, so it's like 300 words per minute would come to 33 pages per minute. If there are 30 lines, sorry, 10 pages per minute. If there are 30 words and then divided by n pages per minute. All right. Okay. If there are 30 words in a page, then the same thing, what we do, if there are 300 words in one page, it means you're reading that entire page in just 1 minute. If there are 300 words, it means it will be like a very lengthy page. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I all expect this from you guys, that you will go and calculate your WPM?
Yes, ma'am.
That will be your current WPM. Then you can write down expected as 3 into your current WPM. Got it? Yes. Okay. So far was a story, so far was a theory. Now I'll do one thing. Let me give you some benefits of speed reading before we actually get into the crux of speed reading, the techniques behind speed reading. What I'll do, I'll give you some benefits for speed reading. Right? My dear friends, you're in pre-nursery probably when you're 4 years old. Now you are reading big books. 5th standard, 6th standard, you are reading big books. When you get into college, still more bigger books. When you get into competitive exams, there is no end for reading. Maybe like IAS, KAS, CBI, RBI kind of exams. Social service exams, right? You're required to read a lot. You're required to write a lot. But again, the same question, is a clock ticking different for you than for some others? It's the same clock. It's the same seconds it is ticking for everyone. Now, with the same available 86,400 seconds or 24 hours to best utilize our time, right? Yes? Yeah. So for that, this speed reading benefits a lot. First thing, what it does, it will increase your speed of reading. As I said, at least 3 times more in this session itself. Then the more you start practicing, 10 times more. Yes, easily we will be able to read 1,000 pages in 1 minute. Got it? It means at least it can be 10 pages. Next, if it is like 300 words per minute, it will be 3 pages, 3 to 3.5 pages. Okay, that's one thing. It increases your concentration. See, you have all been playing a lot, isn't it? You watch TV. Now, would you like to watch something which is like now today it will give you one bit? Let's say we take up a movie of our favorite actor. They give something for half an hour and then they'll cut it. Then tomorrow they give us something. Which one would you like? Or would you like to watch a movie completely? Obviously, as per our brain runs, it is that we all would like to watch the movie completely.
Completely.
Yeah. When we are playing, if we are asked to play, if we are asked to run, would we like to run faster or slower?
Faster.
Which one you as an individual enjoy, and you will get appreciated by your team and always beneficial for the team and for your winning? Being faster. Bowling, yes, being faster. Running, being faster. Anything, faster. Yes, increases your
Yes.
fastness. Then the concentration level increases. How can you be faster? Suppose you are going slow, one step after another, one step after another. Now you get a chance to see something around. When there's no concentration on your work, obviously you'll be looking here, there. Concentration drops down. Here the concentration increases when the brain is pulling more and more information. When it is interested, the concentration increases. It's the same thing with our movies, isn't it, Hakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, correct. Why do we get concentration? Because we are interested. Am I correct? So obviously
Yes,
when there is
ma'am.
concentration, 100% focus. Is it not beneficial for our brain? Definitely. Then increases our understanding capability. So when we are reading, it means that there will be new words which are coming up in our vocabulary. So this will help in understanding the meanings, meaning increasing your dictionary. Correct? So if you guys have understood few of these benefits, keep on typing in the comment box. I will be giving you some more benefits. Obviously, this saves lots and lots of our time. Who doesn't want to play? We all want to play, right? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Then why should we just keep on sitting and reading, getting scoldings from parents? None of us. So it'll save us a lot of time. Yeah. Having said all these things, now just let us look around. What are some of the areas where it's actually pulling us back from speed reading? Why is that we are not able to read faster? Okay, when we start reading, what are some doubts that we get? What is it taught to us? If we start reading, first advice by the teachers, by parents, by our elders is read slower. Read slower. As soon as you start reading slower, obviously time will drag. And the concentration will go here, there, everywhere. Got it? And one thing. Next, what is said is only when we read slow, we will be able to understand everything. Is it so? We need to put a question. Is it so that only when we read slower, we'll understand everything? No.
No.
No. All these things will be discussed in our class, in our future classes. How is that slow reading is actually pulling down our speed? Everything will be discussed. Next, you have to read right from beginning of the chapter till the last word of the chapter. Is it so? No. Let me tell you, in one paragraph, if there are 40 lines, okay? One paragraph, if there are 40 lines, or not 40, 10 lines. In those 10 lines, there will be lot of sentence supporting words itself, like the, as, is, and where, how, all these things, where our attention is not very much required, where we can easily understand even without focusing on those words. Should we really pay too much attention on them? What do you guys say? Yeah. So
No.
if we start paying attention on each and every word, is it not that our reading speed comes down? Is it not that we are wasting
Yes.
time? Let's say for example, if you are taken for a mango grove, a mango garden, a mango grove. Now, would you want to look at the mangoes? Would you want to look at the mangoes and pluck them, or would you want to look for each and every plant grown there, a weed grown there, and then take out everything and then you have to go? Not
First, we
required.
have to pluck the mango.
Pluck the mangoes. What you need, you're done, right? What is our
Yes.
final aim? What is our final aim? Is to get the mangoes. That's it. So whatever we are doing was kind of a waste of time. Hope you guys are getting my points. Yes? Thank you. Let's move ahead. Then what? Read faster, read louder. This is actually another myth which was told to us. Why read louder? It's because when we start reading louder, we are hearing back those words. And what are we doing ultimately? We are increasing our auditory skills. There is a lot of difference between pronouncing apple and just getting an image of apple. If I ask you, pronounce, I'll give you 3 fruits name. Apple, banana, papaya. Now, you have to pronounce them back. Apple, banana, papaya. Okay? That's one exercise. Next, together with that, now what we do, you are getting the pictures of apple, banana, papaya. Now, tell me, which is faster? Getting the pictures
Images. Getting the images.
Images.
Yes.
Getting the image.
Arushi, did you get the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Which was faster? Is it you pronouncing back, you reading out loud was faster, or was it just getting the images was faster?
Getting the images. The
Yes.
images were.
When the mind is already knowing, then why should we again read faster? Am I correct? This is taking a lot of our time, lot of our energy also. When we keep on reading, don't we get tired? We get tired easily. Next, that is called vocalization. Next is subvocalization. What do we mean? Subvocalization in the sense, though we are not opening our mouth, even inside our brain also we are reading. Again, we are not taking the images. We are just reading. Because right from our birth, we are used for only speaking, only talking, or we are increasing our auditory skills. We forgot to increase our imaginations. But unfortunately, the brain wants more of pictures and images. And we are going totally in a wrong way. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys have any questions?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys are loving the class. All right. Next,
Yes.
threat of comprehension. What was told to us. In case if you just run, if you just don't focus, if you just don't go reading word by word, then you will not understand. Then what is the fun? This was actually told to us. So then they pulled us back. They showed us you have to go word by word by word. Again, it's a myth. Why? Because what is there already, it will be repeating another 5 or 6 times. Yeah, of course, it depends on the kind of the book we are reading. Is it a technical book? Is it a story book or what? It depends. Correct? Okay. Next, another important thing is, though we are seeing in our eyes and we never focused, is reading the preview of the chapter. Reading the preview of the topic. Am I correct? The notes,
Yes,
the preface, the forefront, whatever we call. None of us are focusing attention. In fact, we don't even read the heading of the lesson. And another thing, together with that, we are not focusing on the images. Just because we are very familiar in vocalizing, sub-vocalizing, we went only for the words. These are all the threads for reading our speed. If you just understand the preview, if you just understand the images, you are half done. Got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
We miss a lot in that. Suppose if it is like you are reading a storybook. Just see what are all the stories present, who is the author, what is this author familiar with, what kind of the stories he'll present. Is he from his life experience or her life experiences? Or is it something totally new? Or is it something like Desi, being Indian and Indian terms? Or is it like foreign terms? These are the previews. Even before you're going deeper into the subject, you will get all these details there itself. Got my point? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. These are all the threads in our speed reading. Okay. Looks like we are running short of time. Then, as I said, another important thing is we never focused on our eyes. We all knew was just with the mouth, lip movement, the mouth movement, and the lip shaking. That's it. We don't know how powerful is our eyes. I'll do one thing. I'll do one thing. Let me just summarize what and all we did in the next class, right? What we are going to do is what is that we have missed with our eyes? What is that we can do in order to improve our eyes vision and how to go with the speed reading techniques? Am I fine with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. What we went through so far. Firstly, we understood the very definition of reading. We got to know there are 7 steps of reading, and it's just not reading the words, vocalizing the words. Then we got to know why something called speed reading is required as such in this era of knowledge. In this fast generation, what does speed reading can really help us and where it can take us? Yes. Then we understood some of the problems that we are facing in order to read anything. We got to know we are lazy enough. We got to know we are not able to comprehend. We are not able to understand. Maybe it's the age factor, maybe laziness, or maybe that the vision problem, memory problem, and so on. Then we also understood what are the hindrances for the speed reading. Then we made a calculation what is our current reading rate and what will be expected. Got it? Who is actually reading? We cleared that it's our brain which is reading. And we also did an exercise to understand whether images are faster or speaking, auditory. Words are faster. And we immediately realized that the brain would like to take images quite fast and it will run faster with the images than with the words. But unfortunately, what are we doing? We are running with the words and not with the images. Got it? And very importantly, we all got to know it's just not we people who have an issue with reading, it's even the elders who are still having issues with reading. Speed of the reading. Got my point? Yeah. So, all of us, utilizing these classes, let's make the best out of this class and let's increase our speed. Let's utilize most of our time to gain more knowledge, to do something different, to enjoy our life.